Everybody, I hope you're all having a great day so far. I'm having a pretty good morning. Feeling a little under the weather, so I almost didn't stream because I wasn't sure how my voice would hold up, but I didn't want to already miss 2 days when I was going to try to start streaming every weekday. But so I thought we'd just do a little bit, at least until my voice needs me to stop. But let's go ahead and just get into it. I'm going to work more on the multiplayer project today. Specifically, we need to start dealing with movement. Let me see. Well, let's go ahead and test it out just to see how far we were when I stopped. So we'll build a second player. This will just take a couple seconds. To test to make sure I can actually see the chat. I haven't had that problem in a while, but sometimes my chat window doesn't update when somebody actually says something, so I always try to test it out whenever I start the stream. So far, so good. Okay, so now it's done. We'll launch that and the editor. Okay, so start server and start client. So, okay, I can move around in here, but obviously it doesn't update on the client. And then on the client I can move the second player, but it doesn't update yet. So that's what we need to do now, is actually send messages back and forth whenever we update our input. Actually, I've never tried the other way around, where the editor is the client and the second player is the host. So I think I'll do that real quick just to see if there's any issues. Okay, so start server. Okay, yeah, so it looks like it's all still working. Well, I should move this interface somewhere else, but I might actually just kind of tuck it over in the corner. Let's see, I think if I set this to 0. Okay, and then I need to set this pivot to 0 as well. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Now I won't have to worry about hiding it. Probably still should do it anyway, but... okay. Okay, so this is like, this holds the last input we received. Oh yeah, so first of all, as I saw here, I need to set up the timestamp handshake, and this is because we need to have some agreed upon time that when so that we can like timestamp every movement event, and that's just so we can make sure everything stays synchronized. Okay, and that'll basically just be some time whenever the host gets a connection, it will send a message back to the client of the time to actually start the events. Let's see. I think in net info, yeah, I had this timestamp there. So basically, okay, yeah, so if we're at the server, we get this information. So I guess we could go ahead here. Looks like I'm dropping some frames. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it'll be a bit more stable than last time. I'll wait a bit to see if it gets better. Okay. I'm just gonna lower the bit rate. Okay, hopefully that'll help. Sometimes my network is not the best, so I do apologize. But anyway, let me see. Oh, I think I accidentally pressed the compile button. Okay. No, I don't want to debug right now. Thank you though, Visual Studio. Okay, so here, I guess, yeah, whenever we connect and we're the server, we'll need to start sending a message back. I don't really want this class to do it. Let me think of the best way to handle this. Probably... well, I should do a ready check type thing. So basically, once we connect, we'll send the message to the client about the start time. And then we'll wait for a response back, and then we'll actually start the movement. So I guess I need to add another phase here. Okay, so let's do... that should be fine. And then... game phase manager, instead of changing straight to movement, we'll actually change to timestamp. Okay, so let's just make a class here that will just send the timestamp event to the second player, or timestamp message. Okay, and the flow logic container is just a parent class that helps me use the event system for this game. What will I need here? I'll need the network info, and I guess the game phase, because yeah, we'll need to know when we enter the timestamp phase. Okay, and I'll use Visual Studio to go ahead and generate a constructor for me, but I still have to pass the event queue to the parent class. Okay, so we'll add a new listener for a state change. Yeah, whenever the game phase changes, we'll want to, I guess, yeah, start like a timer to send the messages. Okay. Oh, and also, I have a helper class that helps sending messages over the network. I'm trying to see where it is. Data send helper. Okay, well, I guess that's fine. So basically, I can just call the send to other player on the channel and then the buffer size, and it makes sure that it is sent. Okay. Yeah, I'll need to grab a reference to this too. Okay, so when the phase enters, well, let's see. Trying to decide if I want to be, or how in depth I want to get into it in this test game. Oh gosh, my internet's not very stable right now. I guess I'll keep going for a couple more minutes. If it doesn't fix itself, I might need to restart the router. So, I don't know. Yeah, because I'm dropping tons of frames. Not having good luck today. But anyway, okay, so I guess, so in a final game, I'd want to continually send this message until we get some response, but since this game is just for testing, I kind of feel like I don't need to worry about that because, I don't know, a repeat timer doesn't actually help me test. That's more like a, I don't know, a polishing thing. Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know if I'm... Okay, well, I think I just went offline. I don't even know if I'm back yet. Okay, I'm really sorry about this. I'm gonna need to... We'll give it a little more time because it seems like it might have stabilized now. But yeah, I'm gonna need to reset my router after this stream. Anyway, so what I was saying, in a final game, I'd want to continually send this message, I don't know, like every second or so until we get a response just to make sure nothing weird happens. But doing that doesn't actually help me test like how the network works. That's just something that we need to do for, I don't know, a polish phase for the game. So I don't think I'll worry about it here. I guess if we see that I really need to do it, then that will be good to know. But just for this quick little prototype, I think I'll try to keep things simple. So anyway, if the state is now in the timestamp phase, then we know we need to send a message to the other player. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to fill up this buffer with data that we want to send. And so the first index of here, this is like a byte buffer or byte array, will just be the type of message. So we have a message type enumeration. So right now we just have ping and unknown, or ping and unknown. So this would want to be timestamp initialization. We'll go ahead and just create that. I guess I'll go to it to make sure it's... Yeah, so I guess this is 0, 1, 2. And then we'll want to send also the timestamp, which I'm encoding as a double. Unity has a network writer class. Okay. Writer equals new. So yeah, you pass it the buffer. Okay, I wonder if it, hopefully it just writes into this. Okay, it says this is not copied yet, so that's what I want. I wanted to write into this array. So, okay, I probably should just pass it like that, and then we'll write the type here, so. So yeah, we won't want to have that anymore. Okay, that's what I was just checking to make sure it's writing the byte. Okay, I'm pointing with my finger, but you can't actually see, but yeah, it's the correct byte function. And then we'll want to write a double. I guess first I should figure out how I want to store the timestamp. Let's see. Net. I guess we can just figure it out here. We'll want to get like the actual system time, which I'm not sure if it has that here. Yeah, we can't use time since the start of the game because it has to be some value that both the client and the network can agree on. Okay, yeah, so we want to use that. Okay. I actually should have looked this up before I started streaming. But yeah, I wanna get like the system time. Let's see. C# get global time. And this is also an interesting thing because, well, you know what? We might not even need to do this. We can just have the timestamp that these classes use. Oh, I was gonna say the 0 can be like right at this instant, but we have to be able to figure that out on both the client and the server independently. And okay, and even if we said, okay, this is right now is time 0, we don't know exactly how long this message will take to get over to the client. And the reason I don't want to use like some global time is that it's based on this computer clock, and it could be different between players. So we'll probably need some better way to establish a timestamp. I'll need to do some more research on this, but I guess for right now, we'll just use our computer's local time. Let's see. Research best way to establish, I guess, a start time. I have a feeling that the best way is actually like to actually go to some website and pull off some standard time. So that way you can make sure that you're using the time from the same place and it can't be tampered with. But yeah, that's kind of more trouble than I want to do right here. Anyway, so yeah, I need to get my local time. So let's see. Get local time. Or actually, I just want to get system time, probably. Okay, let's see. Okay, and I guess we'll just get it in seconds. Oh, except it doesn't give fractional seconds. I didn't really want to spend time doing this. So let's see. Let's see. Get fractional second. Let's see. So here. And this is like trying to format. Come on, there's gotta be a better way to do this. And that's like C#. Or C++, I mean. Okay, well that's what I am doing, but I want to get it. Okay, well let's see. There's this ticks, that's in long. I don't really know how. I want to convert it to seconds. I guess we could do something like this. Oops. I know this is not the right way to do it, but that'll give us some reasonable thing. Oh, but also isn't the second is probably only between 0 to 59. Let's see, can you just... I wonder if Unity just lets you write a date in here. It's got color, decimal value long. Unsigned vectors. Nope. I wonder if the ticks property is... Well, I guess it would be on my machine. Okay, well let's just do something like this. I wonder if I can reconstruct a date time from the ticks. Oh, this is way more... Okay, well I don't really... I'm not sure of a good way to do this. I'm sure that there is some simple way, I just don't know it. Hopefully... Well, I'll take some time offline to figure this out. And hopefully we'll still have stuff to do before then. But anyway, so we'd want to write the timestamp right here. Okay, and does it... Let's see, I wonder if it writes it right away or if I need to call something to dispose it. Finish. Oh, okay, that's not... Start message. Okay, that's something else I'm not using. Okay, so I guess that just writes it to the buffer, so I think we're done. Yeah, there's not even a dispose function, is there? So then I would just call the sender, send to other player, and we want to send it on the reliable channel and the buffer size. So I guess, does this tell me the size? Hopefully. The current position, okay. So the size should be the position in the buffer. Okay, so now we'll want to also have some class that will receive this message. Let's do timestamp message receiver. Okay, and it's actually going to be quite a bit like this one. Okay, so this again will need the network info. Oh, it's in the wrong namespace, that's why it's not showing up. And yeah, I think I will need the data message sender as well because we'll want to... Oh, I did that wrong. Data sender helper. Because we'll want to send back a message saying that we received the timestamp. Yeah, I guess we should do that. Okay, so anything else I need here? I guess the game state. Okay, so... Oh, right. So when we receive an event, I have a way that we can kind of register a listener for a specific network message, but I wanted to do it in a cleaner way because some of these things will be called really often, so we don't want to generate garbage every time. I don't remember. That's not it. I guess it's the ping receiver. Yeah, so we just have these handlers. I guess I'll need a reference to this too. But I won't need to keep it around, so. Okay, and this safe set is just a helper function that I've defined that if the list is too small for the specific index, it will automatically expand the size of the list for this to fit. So we'll type there, and then the handler. We'll want to... Let's actually have a better function for this because it's going to be a little bit more involved. So handle message. Okay, so this will be metadata and then the buffer. So first we'll want... We already know that this is the right type because it's already sent to us. But we'll want to still create a network message, or that's not right. Network reader. Okay, and so we'll want to just throw away the first byte, which is the type. So yeah, read byte. And then we'll get the double, which would be the timestamp. So net start timestamp equals read double. Okay, why is it not like that? Oh, yeah, this should be a double. Okay. And then we might want to somehow... I don't know. I guess it depends on how we want to use the timestamp. I guess there'll probably be some function that we can use to actually get the system time whenever we need. And then we would just subtract the start timestamp from it. I guess another way is that we could just not even have this timestamp, but then actually just send the network, like the system time back and forth. But probably in the final game, since this timestamp will need to read from some other website, we won't want to have to do that every time we need to figure out a timestamp. So we'll probably get this start timestamp and then have some other timer that we keep ourselves that's offset from this. So let's see. Okay, I think I'll just have separate class. And this will basically just have a timer. Now I don't know if there's really a point in having a double here because in Unity the delta time is a float. But it's probably worth it to use a double. We can use our local clock to figure out the well, I was gonna say we could use our local clock to figure out the differences in between each frame, but I guess the player could still go and tamper with it, which would be weird, but I guess if either player notices like a huge time jump, then probably they would say, okay, well there's some issue. So I don't know if I really need to worry about that. So yeah, I think I will have this a double just because that will reduce floating point rounding errors. Okay, and then so we'll need to get this here. So does anything in the Unity time have double precision? Unity in general uses floats because it is faster, but I feel like for this timer it would be worth it to have better precision. I don't think so. And so we'll need to use whatever I use to get the system time. But it will be something like, I don't know. Oh, I hate doing stuff like that. Okay, so we'll get net dot. Well, it'd be whatever the system time is minus the start timestamp. So I guess at this point we would go and read the time on the website. And there we could synchronize this by subtracting this start timestamp from it. But obviously we can't do that yet, so I'll just leave that here. This makes no sense, but I'll need to figure out how to do it. So insert, I guess sync timer and timestamp sender and receiver classes. So anyway, this is the logic we'll want to do. And then after this, we'll send a message back to the server saying that we are all set up. Okay, and this is pretty simple, so I don't even think I need to create a network writer. Okay, so I guess this would be init. Let's just call it ready check because that's something I've used before. So we want another reliable message to make sure it gets there, and then we only have 1 byte in the buffer. Okay, and I'll go ahead. I know this is a bit lazy, but again, this is just kind of a test project. So I'll go ahead and have the handler in this message sender. Okay, so a couple things. Message sender also needs to set this sync timer to 0 right here. Okay, I will need to make the class that will actually increment this timer pretty soon. Okay, again, we'll just get the... Oh yeah, I don't want to call it timer. Okay, let's rename this to handle received ready check. And yeah, I should also rename this. And I'll just move it down here kind of so this code is a little more organized by the order it's called. Okay, so here we don't really do anything except I would throw an event saying that we're done here. So init complete. Oops, forgot the class keyword. Similarly, on this receiver, I should also queue an event right here. Well, I guess it doesn't need to be public. Okay, and so these messages will just tell the rest of the game that we're ready to move on to the next phase, which is the movement. Okay, now one thing is I need some class that will increment this timer. I guess, well, it's going to be reset here, so it doesn't really matter. So I guess there could be some class that just always increments this all the time. Let's call this a synchronized timer. That sounds fine to me. Okay, and then it should be a flow logic container because it's going to need to be updated every frame, and that's just another thing that part of the event system. And we'll just want the game state and the sync timer. Okay, and we'll need to pass the event queue up to the parent class, like always. But what we'll just do here is we'll override the tick function, which is called every frame, and if the state is in a correct phase, then we'll add on to the timer, which we don't really know how we'll do that yet. A timestamp or a movement. Yeah, then we'll increment timer. So yeah, I also need to add the system, or however we'll do this, into there. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. We kind of need to know how to do this before we can test any of this. I'm sure, like I said, there's probably a simple way. But I don't really like to do research on stream because it's really boring, I know. Timestamp. Oops, not timer stamp. So the receiver will just be probably normal is fine. And then we'll want to initialize the timer synchronize, or the timer ticker. Probably should give it its own priority because it'll need to run pretty quick. Like at the beginning of every frame, I would say. Oops, pressed the wrong button there. Okay, and then I also need to add the actual timer class into the context. Oh, I spelled this wrong. I guess I didn't really spell it wrong, I just shortened the abbreviation, but... Okay, so if we played now, I guess technically it would work, but the timers won't make any sense. But I guess we can look and see... Oh, well, one other thing we have to do is the... Where is it? The phase manager needs to go ahead and listen to those initialization complete events. And forward the game to the movement phase. So on... Oh, I got disconnected again. This stream is a bit of a train wreck. I do apologize. I was really busy yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to prepare too much, but... Okay, well... It looks like I'm just off Twitch. Okay, well, technically we still have about 15 minutes, but I think I'm just gonna call it because everything's just not going according to plan. But so for you people on YouTube, I'm gonna upload my local version of this video because it won't have all the cuts and dropped frames. On people on Twitch, if you watch this later, I apologize. Hopefully tomorrow things will be more stable. I'm gonna reset my router. Hopefully that will fix things. But yeah, I was just gonna create these other frames to advance the next phase, but we'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, so again, I'm really sorry, but yeah, just feel free to follow me on Twitter, and you'll be notified when I go live tomorrow, and we'll finish this up. And check out my other links in the video description if you're interested. And again, I'm sorry about my internet today. It's not going my way, but I guess that's life. But anyway, hope you all have a great day, and yeah, I'll hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.